Random House Audio presents The Inner Game of Tennis, The Classic Guide to the Mental Side of Peak Performance by W. Timothy Gallwey. Read for you by Dan Woren. What is the real game? It is a game in which the heart is entertained. The game in which you are entertained. It is the game you will win. Maharaji. Forward. Pete Carroll, Head Football Coach, USC Trojans. The 2005 National Championship game was a great stage for the University of Southern California Trojans. We had encountered many different challenges in the years leading up to this classic matchup. Billed as the game of the century, top-ranked USC and second-ranked Oklahoma would compete in the nationally televised FedEx Orange Bowl in front of a record-setting audience. What a night for players, coaches, and fans to celebrate the game of football on the greatest stage in college sports. The game would be illustrated in a physical matchup of some of the greatest college athletes in the country. Whereas the game in the field would be highlighted by athletic prowess and memorable playmaking, a much more subtle battle would be waged in the minds of those very same players. The mental aspects contributing to this great physical performance would be crucial to the eventual outcome. Tim Gallwey has referred to these contributing mental factors as the inner game. These athletes must successfully deal with the mind as they prepare to deliver top-flight performances. Coaches and athletes on all levels are confronted with this mental aspect regarding performance. They must clear their minds of all confusion and earn the ability to let themselves play freely. Introduced to the inner game of tennis as a graduate student years ago, I recognized the obvious benefits of Gallwey's teachings in regards to performance in individual sports. As I grew more familiar with the benefits of performing with a quieted mind, I started to cement the principles of trust and focus as characteristics that could also benefit teams. The inner game is intrinsically connected to all facets of our program. The confidence necessary for performing at a championship level over long periods of time can only be developed on the practice field through repetition. Disciplined practice enables our players to develop trust in our coaching and in themselves. They also gain the confidence that allows them the ability to focus, regardless of circumstances or surroundings. Whether we are preparing for an inter-squad scrimmage or the national championship game, these principles lie at the foundation of our program. Once you understand the principles of the inner game, you will be able to quiet your mind, focus clearly, and truly play the game. Preface. Zach Kleinman, Coach, Sports and Life. I have trusted Tim Gallwey and the teachings of the inner game of tennis since before we met. This trust started in 1974, when I read this book that is in your hands right now. He confirms that the path I am on is true, and that I could go deeper, and I do. It's not about the tennis, he reminds me. It's not about the win or the loss. If we're here to experience, then we are free. I still like winning more than losing, and after 30 years, he still shows me how to have faith and has knighted me an inner game instructor. Tim lives his work, and as my mentor and a role model, he has entrusted me to see into and participate with him as he continues to learn. I appreciate him especially for this. He is a source of unconditional interest. One day, he was even more right than usual. It was the last day of the first inner game workshop for tennis teachers. Though I had assisted him at an inner tennis clinic a few months earlier, during workshop week, I had my first private lesson, 30 people were watching, with Tim. He suggested authority. Express authority. Become the author of your own shot, he kindly requested. I found a presence within me who was able to project a new and accessible vision into the shots. Immediately, my teaching and playing gained an added dimension, but not just from the authority. It could be anything I pictured. I became the writer, the creator of the next point, my life. On Friday, December 10, 1976, at about 2:30 in the afternoon, Tim Gallwey changed my life when he so intuitively suggested, "Zach, go home, go and teach. Then come back for the next workshop." "No way," I responded with newfound strength and surety. Then a stronger instinct with me said, I'm here. I'll help, assist, and learn." Tim smiled. I stayed. But what really made me stay? There's a magic I feel being on the court, teaching and learning with Tim. His thoughtful, simple, provocative approach inspires the best out of me as a teacher, player, and person. Since that life-altering moment of expressing a newfound authorship, I trusted and continue to trust Tim's instincts. I am still in Los Angeles, working with and expanding the inner game process through clinics, group, and private instruction on tennis courts and golf courses, and in music and billiard halls. And I continue to learn and grow and practice with Tim almost daily, on and off the court, expressing our inner and outer games. Introduction. Every game is composed of two parts, an outer game and an inner game. The outer game is played against an external opponent to overcome external obstacles and to reach an external goal. Mastering this game is the subject of many books, offering instructions on how to swing a racket, club, or bat, and how to position arms, legs, or torso to achieve the best results. But for some reason, most of us find these instructions easier to remember than to execute. It is the thesis of this book that neither mastery nor satisfaction can be found in the playing of any game without giving some attention to the relatively neglected skills of the inner game. This is the game that takes place in the mind of the player, and it is played against such obstacles as lapses in concentration, nervousness, self-doubt, and self-condemnation. In short, it is played to overcome all habits of mind which inhibit excellence in performance. We often wonder why we play so well one day and so poorly the next, or why we clutch during competition or blow easy shots, and why does it take so long to break a bad habit and learn a new one? Victories in the inner game may provide no additions to the trophy case, but they bring valuable rewards which are more permanent, and which can contribute significantly to one's success, off the court as well as on. The player of the inner game comes to value the art of relaxed concentration above all other skills. He discovers a true basis for self-confidence, and he learns that the secret to winning any game lies in not trying too hard. He aims at the kind of spontaneous performance which occurs only when the mind is calm and seems at one with the body, which finds its own surprising ways to surpass its own limits, again and again. Moreover, while overcoming the common hang-ups of competition, the player of the inner game uncovers a will to win, which unlocks all his energy and which is never discouraged by losing. There is a far more natural and effective process for learning and doing almost anything than most of us realize. It is similar to the process we all used, but soon forgot, as we learned to walk and talk. It uses the intuitive capabilities of the mind and both the right and left hemispheres of the brain. This process doesn't have to be learned. We already know it. All that is needed is to unlearn those habits which interfere with it, and then to just let it happen. To uncover and explore the potential within the human body is the quest of the inner game. In this book, it will be explored through the medium of tennis. The Inner Game of Tennis. Chapter 1. Reflections on the Mental Side of Tennis. The problems which most perplex tennis players are not those dealing with the proper way to swing a racket. Books and professionals giving this information abound. Nor do most players complain excessively about physical limitations. The most common complaint of sportsmen ringing down the corridors of the ages is, "It's not that I don't know what to do, it's that I don't do what I know." Other common complaints that come constantly to the attention of the tennis pro. "I play better in practice than during the match." "I know exactly what I'm doing wrong on my forehand, I just can't seem to break the habit." "When I'm really trying hard to do the stroke the way it says to in the book, I flub the shot every time. When I concentrate on one thing I'm supposed to be doing, I forget something else. Every time I get near match point against a good player, I get so nervous I lose my concentration. I'm my own worst enemy. I usually beat myself." Most players of any sport run into these or similar difficulties frequently, but it is not so easy to gain practical insight into how to deal with them. The player is often left with such warmed-over aphorisms as, "Well, tennis is a very psychological game, and you have to develop the proper mental..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?